कृष्ण लाल की, और मुकुट बंसी वाले की।
नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी इति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चादेशतारिणे नमस्ते सरस्वती गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चादेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद जय श्री कृष्ण भक्तवृंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद जय श्री कृष्ण प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद जय श्री प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद शिव जय जय गौराचंदेर आरती कशोभा किब जय जय गौरचन्दे आरती कशोभा जानवी तथवने गौरा जगमनलोभा जानवी तथवने जगमनलोभा किब जय जय गौरचन्दे आरती कशोभा किब जय जय गौरचन्दे आरती कशोभा जानवी तथवने जगमनलोभा जानवी तथवने जगमनलोभा किब दखिननिताय चाँद बामे गदधारा किब दखिननिताय चाँद बामे गदधारा निकटे अद्वैताशिनी वासा छत्रधारा निकटे अद्वैताशिनी वासा छत्रधारा किब बोशिया छे गौरचाँद रत्ना सिंहासने किब बोशिया छे गौरचाँद रत्ना सिंहासने आरती कोरे न ब्रह्मा अधिदेव गाने आरती कोरे न ब्रह्मा अधिदेव गाने किब नर हरि आदि कोरी चमर दुलाए किब नर हरि आदि कोरी चमर दुलाए संजया मुकुंदा बासु घोषधि गाए संजया मुकुंदा बासु घोषधि गाए किब शंखा बाजे घंटा बाजे बाजे करताला किब शंखा बाजे घंटा बाजे बाजे करताला मधुर मृदंगा बाजे बाजे करताला मधुर मृदंगा बाजे बाजे करताला किब बहु कोटि चंद्रजिनी वदन उज्ज्वला किब बहु कोटि चंद्रजिनी वदन उज्ज्वला गाल देशे बनमाला कोरे जलमाला गाल देशे बनमाला कोरे जलमाला किब किब शिवा सुख नारदा प्रेमे गदधा किब शिवा सुख नारदा प्रेमे गदगाधा भक्ति विनोद देखे गौरर संपदा भक्ति विनोद देखे गौरर संपदा किब जय जय गौर चांदे किब जय जय गौर चांदे आरती शोभा जानवी तथवने गौरर संपदा जानवी तथवने गौरांगेरारति शोभा जग जन मन लोभा 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 जय गौरनिताय 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 जय गौरनिताय जय गौरनिताय 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 जय गौरनिताय जय गौरनिताय 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 जय गौरनिताय जय गौर गौरनिताय जय गौरनिताय जय गौरनिताय गौरनिताय पतित पावन गौरनिताय जय गौरनिताय 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 जय गौरनिताय जय गौरनिताय जय गौरनिताय पतित पावन गौरनिताय जय गौरनिताय पतित पावन गौरनि जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेवा जय सुभद्रा जय सुदर्शना जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेवा जय सुभद्रा जय सुदर्शना जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल।
गोपाल भक्त वत्सल प्रभु दीन दयाल प्यारी गौ माता प्यारे गोपाल भक्त वत्सल प्रभु दीन दयाल जय गौ माता जय गोपाल भक्त वत्सल प्रभु दीन दयाल जय गौ माता जय गोपाल भक्त वत्सल प्रभु दीन दयाल प्यारी गौ माता प्यारे गोपाल भक्त वत्सल प्रभु दीन दयाल प्यारी गौ माता प्यारे गोपाल भक्त वत्सल प्रभु दीन दयाल जय गौ माता जय गोपाल गौ रक्षा हो दीन दयाल
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Chant Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Bolo, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Bol. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Bolo. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Bolo. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Srimad Bhagavad Gita Granth Raja Ki Jai. Bolo Shri Bhagavan Krishna Ki Jai. Shri Radha Nila Madhava Ki Jai. Oh yeah, take that, okay. Okay. So thank you very much for coming tonight to the Hare Krishna temple. This temple has been open, actually, at least 35 years. And it's developed a lot in that time. We also have a second temple in Bellevue. And very soon we're going to have a third temple also in Bothell. And hopefully after that there'll be a fourth temple. So opening a temple is quite a interesting and challenging process. If you do open a temple, you're guaranteed going back to Godhead. So it's a nice thing to do. And if you can also support a temple, that's also very spiritually beneficial. So tonight we're going to hear from the 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita Granth Raja Ki Jai. Text number 3. And you can repeat after me. I'll go word by word, and then we'll chant it. Yomam Ajam Anadim Cha Veti Loka Maheshwaram Asamudha Samartyesu Sarva Papai Pramuchyate Yomam Ajam Anadim Cha Vetiloka Maheshwaram Asammudha Samartyesu Sarvapatai Pramuchyate. The translation to the Sanskrit verse, which is the 10th chapter, 3rd verse. He who knows me as the unborn, as the beginningless, as the supreme Lord of all the worlds, he only, undiluted among men, is freed from all sins. So we can repeat that after me. He who knows me as the unborn, as the beginningless, as the supreme Lord of all the worlds, he only, undiluted among men, is freed from all sins. Now, because we're using, or this verse is using, it's talking about men, he, so forth, but it means men and women. It's not simply about women. So it's a very important verse. He who knows me as the unborn, Krishna is saying, he's never born and he never dies. As the beginningless, yes, he has no beginning and no end. As the supreme Lord of all the worlds, that means he controls everything in all the worlds. There's not only one world, there are many other worlds also. He's the controller of everything. He only, undiluted among men, is freed from all sins. So if you want to be free from sins, you should learn this one verse. And we all are performing sins knowingly or unknowingly. Like when you drive your car here, you've already killed many hundreds and thousands of living entities, all kinds of bugs, ants, and so forth. Now, if you drive your car to go to see a movie, you will have bad karma. If you drive your car to come to the temple to see the deities, you will have good karma. So how you use your car depends on whether you're using it to serve Krishna or using it to serve sense gratification. So we should only use things that are related to Krishna. That way you'll be protected always. There was one pujari we had, and I gave him a car, and I told him, only use this car for seva, for serving Krishna. So as time went by, he had a very bad accident. And I went to the hospital to see him, and I said, what happened? He said, oh, I don't know, I had an accident. Well, I asked him, well, where were you going? He said, oh, I was going somewhere. I said, somewhere? Where was that somewhere? Okay, children have to be quiet, otherwise you have to take them outside. All the children that make noise have to go. If you keep them quiet, it's okay. So, I asked him, I said, where were you going? So I was just going somewhere. I said, somewhere. Somewhere where? So he said, well, I was going to see a movie. I said, oh, you were going to see a movie. That means you were not using the car for Krishna. That's why you had the accident. Because I told him previously, when I gave him the car, I said, look, only use this car in Krishna's service, and you'll be protected. So what happens? He uses it to go and see some nonsense movie, and he has an accident. That means that Krishna was not protecting him because he was not using it, the car, in the service of Krishna. So this is the way we should understand life. Anything we serve or we use in the service of Krishna, you're protected by Krishna. But if you do things that are not related to Krishna, then you're not protected by Krishna, but on the other hand, you're subject to your karma. Karma means what you've done in previous lives and this life. And usually karma is a mixed bag of good and bad things. So you never know what's going to happen in a situation like that. Therefore, the best insurance policy you can have is to only do things and use things like cars and so forth in the service of Krishna. So if you use the car today to go see a movie, you're not protected by Krishna. If you use the car to come to the temple like you all did, you're protected by Krishna. So if we want to be protected by Krishna, we should only use the car for serving Krishna. Now, let's say you use the car to go to work. Well, okay, that's fine. But why do you go to work? You go to work to earn a living. So therefore, you should give some part of your livelihood or the money that you make to Krishna. Then you're protected. But if you keep all the money and don't give anything to Krishna, then you're not protected. You see. So Krishna is in the heart of everyone. Krishna knows more about us than we do. He knows where we go, where we think, what our desires are, and so forth. So if we develop what's called Krishna consciousness, then you're always thinking of Krishna and always engaging in activities that are favorable to Krishna. You're always protected. And that's the best protection you can have. That's the best insurance policy that you can have. However, if we use the car or we use anything that's not related to Krishna, then we're not protected. And then we're subjected to the laws of karma, what we did in the past. And usually, we usually have a mixed bag of doing good things and bad things. Now, we don't know when we're going to get the karmic reaction. You only know when it happens. But we do know one thing. If you only engage your mind and your senses and your desires to please Krishna, then you're always going to be protected. If you have a mixed bag, sometimes you do things for Krishna, sometimes you do things selfishly. The protection is so-so. It's chanchal. It's not steady. So if you want to have real protection, the best insurance policy, you should always be doing things related to Krishna and for the benefit of Krishna. And the easy way to do that is to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. When you chant the holy names of the Lord, you're associating directly with the Lord because he's non-different than his name. He's not like us. We have a material body and we're attached to the body, but we're not the body. The body's always changing. If you say, I am this body, I can ask you, which body are you talking about? The one you had when you came out of your mother's womb, or the body you had when you're 10 years old, or 25 years old, or 50 years old? You cannot say, I am this body. The body is always changing. And if we identify with the body and avoid identifying with our eternal soul that's in our heart, and next to our eternal soul is Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then you make a big mistake. But if you identify yourself as the servant of Krishna, and Krishna is the closest person to us, he's right in our heart. He knows everything we desire, everything we're thinking about, everything we do. In other words, you can't keep any secret from Krishna. Then if you always act in Krishna consciousness, you have no problems. He'll protect you. And we need that protection because we don't know what's going to happen to us 1 minute or the next minute. We don't know what karma we have from previous life or from previous lives. So one day I was walking down the street And a young boy was walking toward me. He was about 10, 12 years old. And he had a cigarette. And he was smoking the cigarette. And this was in Morocco, in Africa. And I said to him, Shuhaida. I said, I speak a little Arabic. I said, what are you doing? He looked at me and said, what do you mean, what am I doing? Who are you? I said, I'm like your father. He said, you're not my father. I said, I'm like your father. Why are you smoking the cigarette? He said, what business is it to you? I said, do you smoke the cigarette in the masjid, in the temple? He said, no. I said, why not? He said, because Allah is there. Then I looked and I said, look, Allah is everywhere. He's not only in the temple. And the boy looked at me, and he thought about it for a minute, and he dropped the cigarette. That's the way, that's called education. God is everywhere. Not only he's in our heart, not only he's in the temple, but he's everywhere. And we should act, if we come to the temple, we don't smoke a cigarette, then we shouldn't smoke a cigarette outside of the temple because God is everywhere. We have to learn this type of reality that we cannot escape from the vision of God. God is always with us, or Krishna is always with us. Therefore, we should always be on our best behavior. No meat, no intoxication, no illicit sex, no gambling. Let's say you go home and you lock your door. Then you go up to your bedroom and you lock that door. And then you close the window and you put curtains over the window and you think you're private and no one is there. It's not true. Krishna is there. You can't hide anything from Krishna. Therefore, instead of trying to hide something from Krishna, we should be very, very happy to serve Krishna wherever we are so he can see our love and devotion for him. That's much better than trying to hide yourself to perform some kind of, let's say, sense gratification. What is the difference between a person who is a believer in God and who's not a believer in God? Well, the person who's not a believer in God doesn't do anything to please God. And Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he has senses. He has eyes, ears, nose, tongue, skin. He has a body. And you can see him right now, right? It's open, right? You see the deity. So, how do you serve Krishna? Well, you serve him just like you would serve your grandfather or a very, let's say, important person. Every day we bathe the deities. Every day we cook and offer food to the deities. Every day we sing for the deities. Every day we dance for the deities. Why? Because they're not a statue. They're actually Krishna himself. Because the Pran Pratishtha ceremony was performed, inviting Krishna to please be present in the deity form that's made after the description of his body in the Holy Scriptures, like this Srimad Bhagavatam. There's no description in the Bible about how God looks. There's no description in the Quran how God looks. It's not there. You can read the whole Quran, you can read the whole Bible. You will not see a description of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The only place where there's a description of how God looks is in Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. These two books are the greatest books in the history of the world. Bhagavad Gita was first spoken 140 million years ago. And the last time it was spoken was 5,000 years ago when Krishna spoke it to Arjuna. So there's no other book as old as this book. And today's sloka or teaching is going to be from Bhagavad Gita. This is the oldest book in the history of the world. I don't really think many people understand that. The Bible is only 2,000 years old. The Quran is 1,500 years old. The Buddhist writings are at most 2,500 years old. Bhagavad Gita has no beginning and no end. It's not only millions of years old or thousands of years old. It is Sanatana. Sanatana means eternal. That means no beginning and no end. So there's no book like the Bhagavad Gita. If you read only this one book in your lifetime, you will be liberated from the cycle of birth and death, and you will have all knowledge. You don't have to read any other book. This book is more, let's say, bona fide than the Quran or the Bible. The Quran and the Bible have things missing. Like, for example, the Muslims, they eat meat. The Christians, they eat meat. That's because it's not forbidden for them to eat meat. That means that they have something missing, how to please God. God does not accept people that kill animals and eat them, especially cows. That's why I always have a cow next to me, a living cow next to me when I give a lecture, because we should associate with cows. We should see how wonderful they are. And this is Ram Dass. I take him all the time wherever I go, so that especially the children can pet him and cuddle him and understand that the cow is a very gentle, very wonderful being and should never be eaten. And once they begin to associate with a cow, when they go to school and in the school lunch, a piece of meat is put on their plate, they say, uh-oh, I'm not going to eat that because I love Ram Dass and this is meat from a cow, I don't eat it. You have to educate your children like that in a graphic way. When they come here and they pet Ram Dass and they hug him, they suddenly realize, oh, this animal is such a kind and gentle animal. How could I ever eat him? So the cow, if you want a pet, don't get a dog as a pet. That's a big mistake, because the stool and the urine of the dog is contaminating. But the stool and the urine of the cow is purifying. In fact, you can heal different diseases by drinking the urine of the cow. And you can use the stool of the cow as very good fertilizer for growing your vegetables and fruits and whatever. So there's no comparison between a cow and a dog. But most people say, oh, dog is man's best friend and cow is my food. You got to turn it around. You should eat the dog and protect the cow. Then you'll be a real person. But if you don't do that, I'm going to tell you what the truth is now. If you eat cow meat, you'll take birth as many times as there are hairs on the body of the cow. And each time you'll be slaughtered like the cow. You know how many hairs are on its body? Unbelievable number. So a cow should never be killed, or you should never eat cow meat. And how can you do that? Look how sweet he is, right? He came over to you, sits down next to you, you can pet him. He'll lick you also. That's the way animals show their love. They lick, you know. So, today's lesson is from the 10th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, 3rd verse. Like I said, Bhagavad Gita is the oldest book in the history of the world. There's no book that compares to this. And like the Bible is 2,000 years old. That's it. The Quran is 1,500 years old. That's it. Buddhist writings are like 2,500 years old. Bhagavad Gita is Sanatana. It has no beginning and no end. The last time it was spoken was 5,000 years ago. The first time it was spoken was 140 million years ago. So this is the greatest book in the history of the whole world. So this verse today, Yomam ajam anadim cha veti loka maheshwaram asam mudha samartyesu sarvapapai pramuchyate. This verse says, he who knows me meaning Krishna, as the unborn, as the beginningless, as the supreme Lord of all the worlds, he only, undiluted among men, is freed from all sins. So if you want to be freed from all sins, now, for example, let me give you some information. If you drive a car, you're going to kill hundreds and thousands of living entities. So driving here today, you already killed hundreds and thousands of living entities. Now, if you drive your car to a casino, you're going to get really bad karma because you killed all those living entities in order to go to a casino where people drink and eat meat and talk all nonsense and so forth. But if you drive your car to the temple, then you're not going to get that karma from killing all those insects because you'll be protected by Krishna. So real knowledge is to learn how to be always protected by Krishna. And it's not difficult. It's easier to be protected by Krishna than to do things out of ignorance and therefore have to suffer unnecessarily because you're unwittingly killing things without understanding it. So, chanting Hare Krishna and eating only Mahaprasadam can change your life. This Hare Krishna mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, is a benediction because the name of Krishna and Krishna are not different. Krishna is absolute in everything he does, and his name is also absolute. So if you want to associate with God, you should chant this mantra on a regular basis. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Then you will learn a lot of things about who God is, because Krishna will be very pleased with you. He's in your heart as Paramatma. So if he sees that you like to chant his holy name, and with some feeling, not mechanically, but with feeling, you chant his name, oh my dear Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Because you take an interest in him, he takes an interest in you. Now, when Krishna takes an interest in you, he says, Konteya pratijanihi name bhakta pranasati. O Arjuna, declare it loudly, whoever surrenders unto me will never perish. That means that if you chant the names of Krishna, Krishna is going to protect you. That's the best protection you can have. It's the best insurance policy you can get. And it's free. You simply chant the names of Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna will protect you. Protect you, protect your children, protect your grandfather, your father. And if you spend the rest of your life chanting Hare Krishna, you will save at least 14 generations of your family, of your ancestors. 14 generations. This is guaranteed. This is in the Srimad Bhagavatam. That 14 generations of your family, like if you really love your family, and especially your ancestors, you have to chant Hare Krishna. That means that you are para upakar, doing good to others. You're not selfish. You're doing good to yourself, and you're doing good to others, beginning with your ancestors and with all people. Because if you come with us on Harinam Sankirtan, then we chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. in public, so that all people, doesn't matter who they are, they can be drunk people, they can be homeless people, they can be Muslims, they can be whatever, they're all benefited by hearing the holy names sung, and they see the dancing and cheerfulness and happiness of devotees who are singing. In this age of Kali Yuga, this is the worst time to live, because in this age, hardly 25% of the population of the world has some feeling for God. In Satya Yuga, the first age, 100% people were interested in God. And then Treta Yuga, 75%, then Dwapara Yuga, 50%, and in Kali Yuga, it's 25%, and that 25% is diminishing very fast. So, therefore, Krishna has made very easy the process of liberating yourself from the cycle of birth and death. That's the real goal of life. I don't think anybody here you can answer. You can tell me if I'm wrong. Does anybody here remember choosing to be born? Anybody? Huh? Are any of you choosing to die? You see? No, nobody. And a lot of people, they're sorry that they were born because they're suffering a lot in life, you see. Now, we're born as a human being. You should be happy that you have the human body, because it's the only form in which you can understand your relationship with God. It doesn't matter whether it's a healthy body or a sick body. It doesn't matter. This is the only form in which we can understand what our relationship with God is and who God is. The animal, like Ram does, he can't understand it. So, if we have this facility that all the other living entities, the birds, the animals, and so forth, don't have, and we don't use it, then we're no better than an animal. Instead of being a four-legged animal, we're a two-legged animal, because we're not using the potential that we have to understand our relationship with God. So when you come to the temple, our purpose is to teach who God is, so that you can have a real relationship with God. Because God, or Krishna, is the closest person to us. He's in the heart of every living entity. He knows everything we do, everything we desire. And you need God's help to do things. Either you want to do things for spiritual advancement, or you want to do things for sense gratification. Both ways, God has to help you. So, everything depends on what's going on here in the brain. If we're always thinking about sense gratification, eating, sleeping, mating, and defending, gambling, intoxicating, illicit sex, and so forth, finally, Krishna is in the heart. He understands, okay, this person, they don't give up. They just keep thinking about illicit sex, gambling, intoxication, and so forth. Okay, then I put my hands up like this, and I say, I'm going to help you. See, we can't even engage in sinful activity without Krishna's help. But if we're always thinking about serving Krishna, then he's going to help you also. But there's something else. He's going to protect you. If you are only thinking about sense gratification, then Krishna says, okay, then here it is. You can eat meat, you can do this, you can do that, but you're not going to be protected. But if you just want to serve Krishna, then not only he protects you, but he gives you knowledge to make the right decisions in life, and he helps you to understand spiritual reality and not be, let's say, stuck in the cycle of birth, death, old age, and disease, and he'll liberate you from the material, let's say, miseries of birth, death, old age, and disease. That's the real purpose of human body and human intelligence. only we as human beings can understand our relationship with God or Krishna and liberate ourselves from the cycle of birth and death. Nobody likes to die. Nobody likes to get old. Nobody likes to get sick. So the best way to live a simple and happy life, and at the end of life, instead of seeing Yamaraj, you'll see Krishna. See, that's where everyone gets, all the atheists, they get really shocked. Every atheist prayer also, their prayer is, please, somebody, and they don't believe in God, but they pray. They say, please, I pray that when I die, there's nothing. No, that's not going to happen. There is something after death. And for the atheist, that something is Yamaraj, and you don't want to see him. He's a very, very scary person because he is the superintendent of hell. Now, I want to explain something about hell. The Christians do not understand what hell is. There's a lot of things they don't. They've got a lot of things wrong. Hell, according to Christians, once you go to hell, you can never get out of hell. That's it. You're finished. You're fried forever. But that's not true. That's false. That's why there's many mistakes in Christianity and in Islam. If that was true, that means that God is a nasty person. So, what do the Christians have wrong? I'm going to go through a quick list. Number one, they say you only live once. That's not true. That's not true at all. They say that when you die, either you go to heaven or you go to hell. That's not true also, because if you practice Krishna consciousness, you don't go to heaven. You go back to Vaikuntha. Hell is a place that's in the material world. Vaikuntha is a place that's in the spiritual world. And another thing is that when you they say that when you die, there's nothing. That's not true. You have an eternal soul. It can never die. So there are many false things that are being taught by Christianity and Islam to people. If those things that they're saying is true, that in other words, when you go to hell, according to them, you can never get out of hell. That means that God is a nasty person, you see. But no, God is completely merciful. They also say there's no reincarnation. Therefore, you only live once, and you're going to be judged. Either you go to hell or you go to heaven. That means that God's a nasty person if that's true. But it's not true. They don't have the correct understanding of who God is. Krishna is completely merciful. When you die, everything is not over because you have an eternal soul. And you'll take birth again, and you have another chance to purify yourself by Krishna consciousness and go back to Godhead. If you go to hell, you're not going to stay there forever because there are saintly people like Narada Muni and other saints that come to hell and preach to the devotees, preach to the people there and take them out, save them. See? So the Muslims and the Christians, they have so many mistakes and incomplete knowledge. So if you believe everything they say, any intelligent person will come to the conclusion God's a nasty person. But if you understand who Krishna is, the Supreme Personality of God, you'll understand he's completely merciful. And he's always helping people who have a little bit of, let's say, faith in him to become gradually liberated from the cycle of birth and death. And Krishna always protects his devotee. Konteya pratijanihi name bhakta pranasyati. Krishna says, declare it boldly, Arjuna, that my devotee never perishes. So God, if you understand, is Krishna. Krishna is not a nasty person. He's very, very merciful. And he's always going to help you make spiritual advancement. And he's going to help you to make the right decisions. All you have to do is two things. Chant Hare Krishna and eat only Mahaprasadam. If you only do those two things, you will go back to Godhead in this lifetime. And those two things are very easy to do. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare. And then your food, only vegetarian food, you offer it first to Krishna because he's the one that's giving you the food. He's the one that's supplying everything you need. So you have to thank him on a regular basis. So some people eat once a day, so they should have a little altar and they should say some prayers. We have a little book, it only costs $1. It teaches you how to offer the food and what prayers to say. It's very simple, it's not complicated. You should get that book. And then you offer the food to Krishna, then he offers it back to you as his prasad or his prasadam, and you eat it and you become purified. And in that way, let's say a woman is pregnant and she eats prasadam, the body of her child is made of prasadam, you see. And let's say you're eating prasadam, your whole body will be turned into prasadam because that's what you're eating. You are what you eat. So if you're eating chicken legs and liver and all that stuff, you're making a big mistake, and you'll be punished for that because we're not allowed to eat animals. In Muslims and Christians, they say you're allowed to eat the animals, and especially cows. That's the biggest mistake you can make in your life. Someone who eats cow meat will take as many births as there are hairs on the cow. You want to count how many hairs there are on the cow? Exactly. So you don't want, believe me, you really should never, if you're going to eat something like an animal, let it be a dog, see. So there's nothing like that you're going to take as many births as the hairs on the dog, right? But cows, they're sacred. They should always be blessed, and they are blessed. They should always be protected. Just like you want to protect your child, you should also protect cow. And look how sweet he is. Isn't he sweet? Right? He's not like a dog, He's sitting here very quietly listening to the class also. So all right, so I could say a lot more, but I'm going to give you a chance to ask some questions because you learn by asking questions. You don't learn by staying quiet. And those questions that you ask, and you get the answer, you'll probably remember the rest of your life. If you read a book, you won't remember hardly anything after reading the book. Am I right or wrong? You tell me. Yeah. But if you ask a question, there's a good chance you'll never forget the answer. So let's ask some questions now, because I don't think you agree with everything I say. So ask some questions and we'll have some discussion. It's more fun when you do that, right? Just like, boxers, when they do shadow boxing, it's not as fun as, having an adversary and fighting. See, so who would like to ask a question? Raise your hand. And don't be afraid, because it's fun to have a discussion about what? We're not talking about baseball or the stock market or anything like that. We're talking about the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. That's the knowledge that we need to have if you want to be liberated from the cycle of birth and death. If you want to stay in the cycle of birth and death, just avoid all this and just merrily go on doing things. At the moment of death, moment that you die, you'll be shocked to see Yamaraj. But if you take a real interest in Krishna, at the moment of death, it's the best moment because you'll see Krishna. And he'll invite you. Now you come with me to Vaikuntha. Okay, so any questions anyone would like to ask? Go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Roji.
Hare Krishna.
Beautiful class. So my question is, if we are only chanting the name of Lord, or if we are only serving the Lord, as you mentioned, that's the only time when the Lord protects us, won't that make Lord selfish in a way or the other?
What makes what?
The Lord selfish. And it's like only
the
if you
Lord's selfish?
Yeah. If
what does that mean?
So it's like if you do things only for me, then only I'm going to protect you. Then only I'm going to do something for you.
But he's the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
But like, won't that
That's
have that
see, what
pinch
you
of
just said is a
selfishness?
false narrative.
So how would we? So putting it in the right
Krishna
way,
is not selfish.
how would we comprehend it from our mindset, in a sense, if we have to think it like, okay, so God is not selfish from, let's say, Lord's perspective, then how do we as a fallen soul understand that, okay, this is the Lord not being selfish but being merciful unto me?
Well, because you're going to get his mercy, don't you understand? And his mercy is he'll protect you, he'll give you knowledge, and he'll liberate you from the cycle of birth and death. That's the greatest benefit you could ever have in life, to be liberated. You want to keep going in the cycle of birth and death over and over again? Next life you'll be a dog, and then after that you'll be a cockroach, right? You got to get out of this body, right? You have to get your spiritual body, and the only person that can help you do that is Krishna. He's not being selfish, he's being merciful by giving you a chance. And in Kali Yuga, that chance is easier than in the other ages. There was the first age is Satya Yuga, and then there's Treta Yuga, and there's Dwapara Yuga, and this is Kali Yuga. This is the worst time of life because most people don't believe in God in Kali Yuga, right? Therefore, Krishna has made it easier, much easier, to go back to Godhead in this age. Simply you have to do two things, right? You remember what I said, two things? What are the two things?
Chanting and eating prasadam.
Say?
Chanting and eating the food offered to the Lord.
You see, because it's simple. You just chant Hare Krishna and eat Mahaprasadam. I mean, vegetarian food that's offered first to Krishna with love and devotion, then he offers it back as prasadam. In no time in history has it ever been more easy to go back to Godhead than today. No time in history. You know how long it took Brahma, the first living entity, to understand his relationship to Krishna? He had to meditate 300 trillion, 400 billion years. You know how long that is? It's unbelievable. We only live not even 80 years or 100 years, see? So it's more easy now to understand our relationship with Krishna and act in that relationship than any other time in history. Why? Because this age called Kali Yuga is a very bad age. Most people don't believe in God. Therefore, Krishna has made it very easy. Just chant Hare Krishna and eat prasadam and associate with devotees. You're going to be, if you associate with devotees, you'll be able to easily do this, no problem. If you associate half and half, devotees and nonsense people, then it's going to be, chanchal. It won't be very steady. Right? If you associate only with nonsense people, then you'll become a nonsense person also, and then you'll stay in the cycle of birth and death, and you don't even know what your next body will be. Right? It depends on what you have done in this lifetime. And there's things that we do that unwittingly that are sinful, just like driving a car. You kill thousands of living entities when you drive a car. It's unwitting. So therefore, the only protection we have is chanting Hare Krishna, eating prasadam, and hearing lectures given by bona fide sadhus. Bona fide sadhus. So that way, you can understand how you can save yourself from the cycle of birth and death. That's the real purpose of human body. The human body is the only body that can liberate you from the cycle of birth and death. Like Ramdas here, he can't be liberated. He doesn't have the intelligence, right? You have to wait to come to the human form of life. But actually, he is being benefited because he's hearing lectures. He's also eating prasadam. He's being benefited. So next life, he'll be a human being, and he'll probably be a good devotee. All right. So people want to make everything difficult. Well, this age, everything is difficult. That's why Krishna has made everything easy if you want to go back to Godhead. Never in the history of the world has it been easier than now in the age of Kali to go back to Godhead. So take advantage of it. In previous times, if you've thought of something doing good, you have to do that act in order to get the positive karma. In Kali Yuga, simply thinking about doing something good, even if you don't do it, you get the benefit of good karma. You see? There's a whole bunch of things that are beneficial in the age of Kali because Krishna has taken it to Krishna is trying to make it easier than ever before how to go back to Godhead. And that's one thing. There are other things also that he has done, established. So it's very easy for you in this age to leave your material body, get a spiritual body, and go to Vaikuntha. Vaikuntha means the place where there's no anxiety. There's only happiness and love. Okay, so you're holding the microphone. You have another question? No? Anybody have another question? You only learn by asking questions. The whole Bhagavad Gita is questions and answers. Arjuna is asking Krishna many questions, and Krishna is answering them. So anybody have a question? Yes, sir. Give him the microphone. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
By the way, when your son, is it a son?
Yeah.
When he gets older, don't send him to school. Schools are terrible. You educate him, you and your wife educate him yourself, right? That way you control the curriculum. If you saw the curriculum today that they're teaching in schools to kids, it's completely against everything you believe in. The worst thing you can do is put your kid in a modern school today, especially public schools, even private schools. They're only going to learn all kinds of nonsense things to make them vishayi, a sense gratifier, right? And they have bad association with other kids who are not interested at all in Krishna consciousness. So you should educate your own child, and it's not difficult. Some people say, oh, no, I have to work. No, you should sacrifice to educate your child properly. Otherwise, you put him in school after, 6th grade, 8th grade, 10th grade. 10th grade, one day they'll come home and say, look, Dad, I don't believe in God. Don't ask me to go to the temple. And you'll be shocked, you see. So please don't put him in any public school or private school. They're the same thing. They're just going to teach nonsense things. Okay, go ahead. What's your question?
Same question, but slightly more depth. Like, for a God, it doesn't matter whether a person is saying his name or praying. Like, how does it help us actually?
No, saying his name is praying.
Yeah.
It's not different than praying.
But for God, it doesn't matter. For God, everyone is equal. Like, whether a person is saying his name or not. Then why is there a differentiation there?
Between what? I mean, saying his name is glorifying him. All right.
The question is like, for God, everybody is equal. Why does he care about whether
The person
we chant or not? So that's the question.
Yeah.
Well, no, you don't have to just chant Hare Krishna. You can also chant the mantras in the Bhagavad Gita. That's glorifying God also. And especially in the 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, I'll just read one or a few verses, and you'll see they're all verses glorifying God. But why should we chant Hare Krishna? That's the question. So here it says, Tvam Adideva Purusha Puranas Tvam Asya Vivasya Param Nidanam Vetasi Vedyam Cha Param Cha Dana Tvaya Ratam Vishvam Ananta Rupa. You, Krishna, are the original personality of Godhead, the oldest, the ultimate sanctuary of this material manifested cosmos or world. You are the knower of everything, and you are all that is knowable. You are the supreme refuge above the material modes. O limitless form, this whole cosmic manifestation is pervaded by you. This is only one verse, right? If you just repeat this one verse, you'll become purified, and Krishna will take care of you the rest of your life. You see how powerful this Bhagavad Gita is. Okay. So now your point was, what was your question again?
God doesn't differentiate between people.
He what?
God, like Krishna, doesn't differentiate between people who is like who is taking his name, and the other person who is not taking his name.
How do you know that? That's your
That
your
is
opinion.
That is something that has been taught to us in
By who?
in the starting. Like, go for God, everyone is equal.
Well, yeah, God is the father of everyone, right? But he gives special attention to his devotee. Just like, I'll give you an example. Let's say your child, you give your child to your neighbor to take care of because you're going to go to a movie or something, right? And when you come back, you see that the neighbor's house is on fire. What are you going to do? You're going to run into the house to try and save your kid, right? And if you do, you come back, would you go back again to save the neighbor's kid? Probably, you see. But the first kid you would be looking for is your kid. So in the same way, if you're a devotee of Krishna, he's going to give you special attention. But he's going to help everybody. He is helping everybody. Look, all the demons, they're all eating every day. They have life. He's supplying the rain. He's supplying the sun. So Krishna is helping everyone, but he gives special attention to his devotees, just like you would give special attention to your kid, right? Okay. So when you say God is equal to everyone, yeah, but he gives special attention to his devotees. Just like you're equal to everybody's children, but you give special attention to your child. You see my point? So Krishna is not different than you. He also gives special attention to his devotees. Okay, you got another question? Haribol.
Verse number 929.
Yeah?
I envy no one, nor am I partial to anyone. I'm equal to all, but whoever renders service unto me in devotion is a friend. He's in me, and I'm also friend to him.
Yeah, see, Krishna is equal to everyone, but he gives special attention to his devotees. Just like you're equal to all children in the world, but you give special attention to your child. See, if you analyze yourself, you can understand up to almost 80% who God is. So we just analyzed you. You love your child, right? So, but although you love all children, but you give special attention to your child. So Krishna is like that also. He loves all living entities. They're all his children, but he gives special attention to his devotees. Hare Krishna. Yes, ma'am. Ladies first.
So in that case, like, how does Krishna help someone who is like an atheist, like you said, or just someone who eats cows, or just
I don't
has no
understand. Say that.
knowledge?
Speak slower and louder.
Oh. Sorry.
Slower and louder. Go ahead.
Yeah. So how does Krishna then help someone who has no knowledge of him, who is an atheist, or someone who eats animals?
Well, I'll give you my own experience. I was not a real strong believer in God, before I, joined Hare Krishna. But I was not having, I was suffering. Things were going wrong in my life, So at one point, I was thinking to myself, maybe I should pray to God. Although I didn't really know who God was, but I started praying, please help me. And all of a sudden, I met devotees, Hare Krishna devotees. And that changed my whole life. because I prayed. Even though I wasn't expert at praying, I was not expert at praying, I prayed. And Krishna sent devotees and then changed my whole life. And I've been practicing Krishna consciousness now for 56 years. I didn't make a mistake. Okay? So we should all ask this question. Why am I subject to birth, old age, disease, and death? Why is this happening to me? If you don't ask that question, then you remain, let's say, ignorant. Okay, you have a question.
Yeah, I have a question, Maharaj. So, in the context of the cycle of birth and death,
Yes.
right? So, I mean, as you mentioned that our birth is not in our hands.
Yeah.
Yeah. Similarly, our death is also not in our hands. We don't know when we are going to die. I mean,
Yeah,
of course, old age and all, definitely.
Oh, but you can prepare for death.
Yeah,
But anyway,
yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I
So the
understand.
question is like, so by eating prashadam and doing the chanting in this life itself, we can go to the Godhead,
Yes.
right? That
Very
means
simple.
Very simple.
Very
I mean,
easy.
so that means like we don't need to wait for our death. We just need to, surrender to the.
Oh, wait a minute.
I mean, death.
Why
means-
should we wait for our death? What do you mean by
what
that?
I'm saying is that by following the chanting
Yes.
and eating prashadam,
Yes.
um,
It's happy when
it's
you do that.
happy, and in this life itself, we can go to the Godhead,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Lot of times I see like, people during the death, on the deathbed, like,
Yeah.
they think that the physical body's death is the death.
That's the end of everything.
Yeah, end of everything.
That's false.
Yeah,
It's not the end of everything.
yeah,
And they're shocked. As soon as they die and they see Yamaraj, they're shocked. They say, what's going on here?
yeah.
I
So-
thought there was nothing after death. I was praying to God that there should be nothing after death. But now I'm seeing this guy named Yamaraj, and he's a nasty guy,
Yeah. So, I mean, if I give up the concept of I, like, whatever my belongings and all, and just rely on chanting and eating prashadam.
You can't give up the concept of I.
It is not easy, but I'm, in the practice of like,
No, but you cannot do it. It's impossible. You can try, but you won't be able to do it. There's nothing wrong with I. What's wrong is I am a nonsense person. But if I am a devotee, there's nothing wrong with it. Right?
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
By surrendering, so I am a devotee of God. Like,
Yes.
I'm just doing the transcendental activities.
Yes.
So it gradually liberates me in this life itself.
What?
It will gradually liberate me from the cycle of birth
Yes, definitely. We're guaranteeing
before my
that.
body dies. Like,
Hey, your body will die. You won't die. You have an
Yeah.
eternal soul.
yeah, that's what I mean to say.
Yeah.
Okay. That,
You can only be a winner
yeah,
in Krishna consciousness. You can't be a loser.
yeah, understood. Right.
Haribol.
Yeah.
Thank you. Any other question? You got another question?
A lot of times, the reason I ask this question, preparing for the death,
We should all be preparing for death because we don't know when it's going to happen.
agree, like, because, I mean, at least in the context of family, like,
And the way to prepare is always chant Hare Krishna. The easiest way to prepare. Haribol. Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank
Hare
you for
Krishna.
the wonderful class. My question is, we can perceive the material energy
Yes.
directly.
Yes.
So how can we perceive our spiritual energy?
How can we perceive it?
Yeah.
By
it's
chanting Hare Krishna.
how much? I mean the strength of spiritual energy.
How what?
Strength of spiritual energy. How much strength we have? We can directly
You'll
perceive.
get that strength by chanting. That's the whole point. Just like you'll get strength in your arms by lifting weights, right? And you'll get strength in your mind by chanting Hare Krishna. It's like lifting weights, right? Right? So you make your mind heart stronger by chanting Hare Krishna, the name of the Lord. Try it.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Hare Bol.
Wonderful example. By lifting weight.
It's very simple. You lifting weights to make your arms stronger. You chant Hare Krishna to make your brain stronger. You know.
But
Yes, sir.
most
What? Oh, his birthday. Okay. Well, wait a minute. Is the deity open?
yes, sir.
Okay. The pujari is going to bless him. Hare Krishna. Any other questions? Okay, then we will go back to the 10th chapter. 10th chapter, 10th verse, I think. 1 second here. Okay, the 10th chapter, 10th verse says in the Bhagavad Gita, the greatest book in the history of the world, Tresam satata yuktanam bachatam pratipurvakam dadami buddhiyogam tam yena mam upasyate. Upasyanti. Yeah. Okay. So this verse says, to those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. This one verse says everything. Right? To those who are constantly devoted to serving me, meaning Krishna, with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. In other words, Krishna is going to give you the intelligence by which you can go back to Godhead. So we should believe him. We shouldn't doubt this. This is the real truth. Right? And in the purport it says, in this verse, the word buddhi yogam is very significant. We may remember that in the 2nd chapter, the Lord, instructing Arjuna, said that he had spoken to him of many things and that he would instruct him in the way of buddhi yoga. Now, buddhi yoga is explained. Buddhi yoga itself is action in Krishna consciousness. That is the highest intelligence. Buddhi means intelligence, and yoga means mystic activities or mystic elevation. When one tries to go back home, back to Godhead, and takes fully to Krishna consciousness in devotional service, his action is called buddhi yoga. Let me read that again. When one tries to go back to home, back to Godhead, and takes fully to Krishna consciousness in devotional service, his action is called buddhi yoga. In other words, buddhi yoga is the process by which one gets out of the entanglement of this material world. The ultimate goal of progress is Krishna. People do not know this. Therefore, the association of devotees and a bona fide spiritual master are important. One should know that the goal is Krishna, and when the goal is assigned, then the path is slowly but progressively traversed, and the ultimate goal is achieved. When a person knows the goal of life but is addicted to the fruits of activities, he is acting in karma yoga. When he knows that the goal is Krishna, but he takes pleasure in mental speculations to understand Krishna, he is acting in jnana yoga. And when he knows the goal and seeks Krishna completely in Krishna consciousness and devotional service, he is acting in bhakti yoga or buddhi yoga, which is the complete yoga. This complete yoga is the highest perfectional stage of life. A person may have a bona fide spiritual master and may be attached to a spiritual organization, but still, if he is not intelligent enough to make progress, then Krishna from within gives him instructions so that he may ultimately come to him without difficulty. The qualification is that a person always engage himself in Krishna consciousness, and with love and devotion render all kinds of services. He should perform some sort of work for Krishna, and that work should be with love. If a devotee is not intelligent enough to make progress on the path of self-realization, but is sincere and devoted to the activities of devotional service, the Lord gives him a chance to make progress and ultimately attain to the Lord. So, you see how Krishna is very merciful, very, very merciful, right? He's not a nasty person. Okay, any other questions anyone would like to ask? If not, then we will chant Hare Krishna a little bit. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Bolo. Hare Krishna, Jai Shri Radha Nila Madhava Ki Jai. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Bolo Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Hare, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Bolo Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hey, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Bolo Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Rama, Hare Hare.
Oh Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Ram, Hare
Nitai Gaur
Hare.
Hari Bol,
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol,
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol.
Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol.
Nitai Gaur Premanandi Ki Jai, Hare Krishna Mahamantra Ki Jai. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahansa Pararajika Statara Satara Shri Shimad. His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Goswami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnavinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Sikaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasudeva Gaura Bhaktivinda Ki Jai. Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Sham Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Mayapura Dham Ki Jai. Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai. Tulasi Devi Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Ganga Maya Ki Jai. Jamuna Maya Ki Jai. Samaveda Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Nitai Gaura Premanandi. All glories to the assembled Lord. All glories to the assembled Lord. All glories to the assembled Lord. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Guranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Patita Pavana Ki Jai. Hare Krishna. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Vestaya Bhutali Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Tanamini Namaste Saraswati Devi Guruvani Pucharini Nirvisesa Sunyuvari Pasrat Ya Desatarine. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. So if there are no more questions, or unless there are any more questions. The what? They're making pizza downstairs? Yeah? That was for everyone? Good. Don't miss the pizza. Pizza. Hare Krishna.